Hi everybody, welcome to the new lecture on ARD Current Affairs series going on for the NABARD Grade A 2026 exam, and today we are going to cover the first part of August. Okay, so here have four major news. Okay, one is PACS, your Primary Agriculture Credit Society, computerization of, it's been a news for quite a long time now, that the government is focusing that the computerization of PACS happens so that the transaction and the monitoring becomes easy and more transparent. Okay, and strengthening of cooperatives. So recently there was a news related to what has been done in cooperative sector, a slight of bit of it we will understand. These news would help you to write better descriptive answers. Crop diversification and micro irrigation for water secure agriculture has been suggested and initiated by ICAR. White revolution 2.0, what is the expansion of dairy cooperatives under that we are going to look at. And finally, ICR has developed first complete Pigeonpea reference genome. Basically, for the very first time, ICR has properly mentioned about all the 11 chromosomes, means their placing and everything of pigeon pea or har dal. That would help you help us to now make better varieties. Okay, so these are the major news. So pigeon pea mein the variety that has been decoded is Asha. So what are these we are going to look at? Starting off with the first news, PACS computerization and strengthening. So recently, basically what has happened, government has given update on the financial position of cooperative societies. For a very basic understanding, what are cooperative societies? When a lot of people, or when people with same aim, same motive, they come together and they work together, that is known as cooperative societies. That is what the basic idea of cooperative society is. Okay, so what actions have been taken under it? So computerization of PACS recently, not recently but back in 2022, government they launched this initiative, this project of computerization of the functional PACS, so that what can be done, so that again for improving transparency, efficiency, accounting and service delivery. What does PACS do? So basically what happens, if you look at the cooperative credit structure in India of agriculture, credit means giving out loan. Okay, so there are some short term loans and long term loans. Long term loan may, for example, we have for buying a land, for buying a tractor. Now these are very expensive, so they come under the long term credit. But we have short term credit also, for example, to buy seeds, to buy fertilizers. Even because in India 86% of farmers, they are related to your small and margin, they are small and marginal. So even for buying these things, they have to take up the loan. Okay, so for short term credit, we have the state or central cooperative bank which works at the state level. Okay, then we have district central cooperative banks, and then at the grassroots level, where actually farmer they can go and take up the loan. At grassroots level, we have PACS, Primary Agriculture Credit Society. PACS does not come under government. Okay, they are people among themselves, they are working together only, but government do help them with the loan facilities, right? So NABARD, they come up with initiatives program, they provide the loaning and everything, right? So PACS in itself, it is all these they are not under government. PACS is not a government, right? But it is people, they have come together, they provide loan among each other. Okay, if there is lack of loan for something, so then government steps up and provide them with the loan. Okay, so what the computerization, but so how does it functions, like who work there? Okay, so basically proper election sort of thing happen, where committee is set up, then people are elected for certain positions, so that what happens, all the workflow is smooth, right? So that there is an accountability, so that work can happen without any disruption. Okay, so this is the case. So first of all, computerization of PACS, it will help with what? Transparency, efficiency, accounting and service delivery. Secondly, what has happened, basically what has happened, PACS primarily it was responsible for providing credit. Okay, but we know that still rural India is still developing, there are a lot of facilities that are lacking, which people they require. So what happened then, later on, that PACS, then government decided, okay, that they can do, these PACS can do 25 business activities. What does these activity means? Like they can, in PACS initially, which was responsible for providing only the credit, they, if they want to sell, for example, ration there, if they want to sell fuel, like for example tractor ke liye fuel chahiye hota hai, right? Fuel, if they want any fertilizer, seed, right? So not only only credit now will be given via the PACS or the centers, but there are 25 business activities which were recommended that if PACS wants to do that, they can also do. So in this, what will happen? PACS will have additional benefit because when they will be selling, definitely there will be some profit margin, and then that money can be used as giving it loan to the farmers, right? And secondly, what will happen, the people will have ease because they would have to go far off places earlier to buy all these things, but now it is available in that center only. So 25 under the model bylaws, okay, PSCs were allowed to diversify beyond the traditional credit activities, and 25 business were added. You need not to memorize what were the 25 business activities, but yes, 25 number you can keep in mind, okay. Then PM Kisan Samriddhi Kendras, Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras, common service centers, like these are some of the centers which were set up under PSCS that provides with again the all the things that we have discussed, fertilizers, right, common service centers helps and all that thing, okay. So because of that, the business opportunity it increases, okay. So I've already told you the concept, okay. Main objective of PSCS, improve liquidity management. Why at grassroots level we required, okay, because these farmers again, that in the remotest places in India people live, right? So those in rural places, the formal proper bank setup is still difficult because the population is very less. Banks would have to face a loss, but people still require these credit, right? So that is why PACS is a system, and that is why it is not a government banking system. Why? Because again, banks can't be set up just for 20 to 30 people, right? And also not everybody will be taking up the loan or utilizing it. So PACS is that formal credit system, okay, which helps people to get loan, and in a very efficient manner the system functions, because again, the government also does not have to bear any loss, okay. Improve credit flow, strengthen rural and agriculture cooperative credit delivery. This structure is especially important for your means like knowing the structure, TK, is important for your NABARD grade examination, that you know what are these system it functions. Whenever PACS is at loss of not loss means it is lacking money to provide as loan, the DCCB can help with that, okay. DCCB further is funded by the state or the central cooperative banks, okay. Then apart from that, we have National Cooperative Development Corporation also, which provides, see what we are studying that for strengthening of cooperatives, what are the steps taken, right? So for that also, they also provide financial assistance for infrastructure development, business diversification, value chain development, capacity building means skill building के लिए भी. So PACS gets funding from the other institutes as well, okay, if they are lacking. Next, National Cooperative Database, okay. So this database has been developed to identify the gaps in cooperative coverage. What is the government doing? What are the initiatives government are doing to strengthen the cooperative? So they have made a national cooperative database that will first identify the gaps that are there in cooperative coverage, support formation and new cooperatives, help in evidence-based policy making so that better policies can be made for cooperatives, and assess performance of cooperatives so that the functioning can be improved. A cooperative ranking framework is also being used for performance assessment so that the actual help that is needed can be provided. Apart from that, for the cooperatives, government has also announced a decentralized grain storage. So government is implementing world's largest decentralized grain storage plan in the cooperative sector, and the objective is to increase the storage capacity at the grassroots level. Abhi to even like at the higher level also we still do not have enough of the storage facilities, but then again these things need to be provided at the grassroots level. There has to be proper infrastructure for storage so that farmers they do not bear loss post harvest, right? A lot of time rain occurs and all crops they just destroy, right? Should have a proper space where they can keep their produce, okay. And along with that, for strengthening cooperatives, there are training programs, skill development programs that are also initiated, okay. So workshops are taken care of, training programs, and now though there is a proper full-fledged university that has been set up by the government with the name Tribhuvan Sahakari University for the cooperative education, training and research and capacity building, okay. So that was our first news. Coming to the next news news on the crop diversification and micro irrigation for water secure agriculture. So see, basically what has happened, government ICR here, if I talk about ICR, has highlighted that what existing cropping pattern we have. What is cropping pattern? That what crop you are sowing in your land. For example, if in Punjab a farmer is going for wheat and rice in a year, like first in Kharif season they are sowing rice, and then they are growing wheat in the winter season. So that is their cropping pattern. Okay. So existing cropping pattern has ICR has highlighted that existing pattern that we are having not only in Punjab region but all across the country is having severe groundwater stressed. Especially in the groundwater stress stage that we are having, it does not match with the water availability. Means what the crop actually is requiring, the water quantity, that is not how much water that is present in that area. What does it signify? It signifies that the crops that we are using, they are consuming a lot of water, and because we are repetitively growing just those crops in the field, because of that, now the water level of that particular groundwater level of that area, it has reduced to a significant level, and it does not match now the water requirement of that crop. Okay, so in this what will happen? First of all, ek to on one hand we are reducing the groundwater level, and on the other hand, if we are still going on with the same crops, definitely they would not give proper yield because their water requirement will not be fulfilled. So because of that, ICR has recommended location specific crop diversification. ICR suggests that we should now go for other crops also, and especially like they have mentioned crops like pulses, and the other water, I mean drought resistance crops, millets for example, millets etc., which does not require much water, so that on one hand the farmer do not have any loss, they can have good yield from the produce, and secondly the groundwater can rejuvenate. If you go for such crops which require less water, definitely gradually the groundwater will it will rejuvenate. Okay, so both objective can be fulfilled by crop diversification. Apart from that, micro irrigation, the ICAR suggested that because the water level is going so down, instead of flood irrigation where you just normally provide water into the field, अब इसमें क्या होता है, plants will take only some water, rest either it moves out of the field or it gets evaporated. So instead of wasting that, we can go for micro irrigation. Micro irrigation में we have two type, one is sprinkler irrigation, another one is a drip irrigation. In drip irrigation, which is taken from Israel, basically what happens, in the roots areas pipes are there, and then there are holes, and from that drop by drop the water falls around the roots. Okay, so that is the efficient manner. In sprinkle irrigation, there is a like nozzle and a system, a sprinkler. From there the water, it falls as a tiny droplets like rain. Okay, so that is also in that also water is conserved. So micro irrigation should be done. Climate resilient farming practice should be followed for water use efficiency and agriculture sustainability. How they have deducted, how they have come up with this conclusion? So basically they took up the data from the Central Groundwater Board and GRACE satellite data, and then they understood that there is a major mismatch between the crop water demand and the groundwater availability, especially in the groundwater stretch states, that is Punjab, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so they have, and also ICAR has prepared a atlas of cropping system in India. So based on the areas, the water availability, the climatic conditions and marketing opportunities, on that basis they have made this atlas of cropping system. Means which crops can be grown in what areas, that will give the maximum profit to the farmer, and not also in that sense will not hamper the field, or you can say the climate. Basically climate resilience agriculture can be followed. ICAR has also prepared district specific crop plans for 14 major crops. Okay, so there are different indexes that they have taken, the data they have taken. Relative spread index basically means that in that particular location, the what is the production of that certain crop happens. Relative means in compared to the whole state, okay, or whole district. Similarly for yield, how much yield in that particular location happens relative to the whole state. Then sustainable yield index and soil climate sustainability index, taking in care of a sustainable yield index means for a longer time period how much sustainable that particular crop is. Okay, growing that crop is, or climate soil climate suitability. On that basis they have made 14 major crop like segregation district wise also. Why is it done? Why so much efforts by ICAR? So that sustainable agriculture can be promoted, so that climate resilient farming practices, agriculture can be promoted. So everything now has been made by ICR. Now the next thing is implementation is very important to get the farmers, to reach out these atlas of cropping system in India to the farmers, so that they can understand that as per their location and as per the conditions that they are facing right now, especially in this groundwater stress environment, what are the crops that they will give them the maximum profitability. Okay. And what also, what other that information that was present in the news was that, the if we look for the crops that are grown in India, okay, so usually we are growing the water intensive crops. For example, rice, sugarcane, cotton, jute, they consume a lot of water, and together they occupy, like all together these crops, they're occupying 62.7 million hectares, nearly that is one third of India's gross cropped area. So honestly, means if you look at, if you divide India's agriculture in three parts, okay, one third of it is taken up by these water intensive crops. Okay, so this signifies what? This signifies that how much consumption of water they are doing. Okay, one third means one third of the crop production that is happening in India, that is by water intensive crops. So they are taking up a lot of water. We have to diversify that. We have to go, see, in these sectors, especially if we talk about rice and sugarcane, we are already performing very well. Okay, so we can go for crop diversification, so that the water sustainability can also be maintained. This shows the need to shift suitable areas from water intensive crops towards pulses, oil seeds, millets and horticulture crops. Okay, under that, government has also launched, not government, I'm sorry, ICR has also launched pilot project on crop diversification, especially location specific, and these measures will be taken as of now in pilot project in 47, means abhi dheere dheere hoga, and this will then be implemented, this have been implemented in 47 districts. Okay, iske alawa micro irrigation and water conservation, we already know ICR is promoting drip. I've already told you, sprinkle irrigation, drip fertigation. What is fertigation? When you add fertilizer in water only, basically you spray fertilizers in the field, right? So it's better that whenever the irrigation is happening, in that water only you are adding the fertilizer, so that at one time two things are happening and not over consumption also happens of water as well and fertilizer as well. So drip fertigation is promoted. Rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting means, because in monsoon season we have excessive water, so to collect that water so that it can be utilized. Farm ponds to make groundwater recharge, protective irrigation and scientific irrigation scheduling, all these things are promoted by ICR, especially using AI sensors and water-based irrigation scheduling. Okay, then for rice, important water saving practices include direct seeded rice. Okay, system of rice intensification, alternative wetting and drying. So these are all what. So basically, especially through the initial time of growing rice, flooding is required in the field, so it's a very water intensive process. Okay, so there are now new methods have been improved. For example, in direct seeded rice, directly in the field you grow the crops, because in your rice case, transplantation happens, so like that is twice the time you are using water. So there are different methods. These are system of rice intensification, these all are part of your static. Okay, so where there what happens, these are the different manner where the water can be consumption can be reduced. Okay, then apart from that, there are government schemes are also running, just a per drop more crop. Okay, then this is for the watershed development. What is a watershed area? So basically, especially in the hilly regions, like there's a lot of outlet for water that goes during the rainfall, right? So watershed is that place where these water, it falls down and then they collect in one area as a drainage. This is known as what? This is known as watershed. So to collect all this water, and then it can be utilized for irrigation purpose. Okay, so that is a watershed development, the scheme that is currently running on. Okay, Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana promotes sustainable agriculture in 100 aspirational districts through crop diversification, irrigation, post harvest infrastructure, natural and organic farming. So Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana is related to this. Soil health care program helps to identify which fertilizers are actually are required by the field. Okay. And ICR also promotes integrated nutrient management, soil test, crop response, and micronutrient mapping. Means taking care, testing the soil, that what nutrients are actually required, and only then providing it. Otherwise it is harmful. Means when overuse of these fertilizer happen, they become toxic for the soil as well. And because there is excessive fertilizer present, it can then it can get mixed in the rivers or waters bodies nearby, harming the environment. Okay. इसके अलावा climate resilient agriculture ICR is focusing on that. National innovation in climate resilient agriculture, ICR promotes variety tolerant drought, flood, salinity. Means again going for climate adaptable crops. Okay. It has developed climate resilient villages in 151 vulnerable district. ये don't need to memorize the district and all name. ठीक है, ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Coming to the next news, white revolution 2.0. So under that, what is the government is trying to do? They are trying to expand now the dairy cooperative network, so that the marketing can be increased, right? So and more profitability can happen. Okay. Improve, and also dairy infrastructure is improved, so that more and more what can happen, the value added products can be made, right? Like for example, in initially in white revolution 1.0, means first phase, the motive was that the milk can be sold, right, and farmer can have better rate. But now it is more about, having better dairy infrastructure, so that from milk, paneer, ghee, etc., first it can be made and then it is sold, so that the cooperatives and the members of cooperative, those are the dairy farmers, they can have even more benefit. Okay. So promoting sustainability and circularity in dairy sector. Okay. And the government under white revolution 2.0, government aims to form how many new dairy cooperative societies? That is 75,000 new dairy cooperative societies. Okay. To strengthen the existing DCs, particularly in villages and panchayats. Okay. DCS what is your dairy cooperative societies. Okay. Initiatives seek to provide proper better market access and remunerative prices to small dairy farmers. And also under this particular white revolution, bulk milk coolers, automated milk collection units, milk testing equipment, all these things, infrastructure, all thing will be, guidance will be provided. Okay. Automated milk collection units क्या होती है? So initially farmers, they used to go to that collective area, collection area, and then they used to provide, used to give their collected milk over there. Testing would happen, and then collection will happen, and then they will get the money. Now there are machines where they can just directly add their milk into it. It will check whatever the purity standard that is required, and if passed, they will get the money. ठीक है, तो ये concept है. Next है about two new multi-state cooperative societies has been set up under the white revolution 2.0 for the benefit of dairy cooperatives. The name, one name is Gome Sehkari Samiti Multi-State Limited, and another one is Cooperative Input and Service Dairy Multi-State Limited. What are their function? Gome Sehkari Samiti Multi-State Limited, it will focus on scientific manure management, including biogas and making organic fertilizer, promoting the circular economy. Circular economy means whatever waste is generated to make something beneficial out of it. For example, in dairy sector, we know that animals, they give excreta, right? So that dung that they provide, it can be used to make biogas or maybe organic fertilizer. So for that we have this society that is established, and another one that is Cooperative Input and Service Delivery Multi-State Limited. So as the name suggests, it says input and service delivery, so it aims to provide affordable access to feed, fodder, animal health, breeding, and technical services. What is the expected outcome from what it will be done under white revolution 2.0? It is expected to improve market access and remunerative, means better prices for small and margin dairy farmers, especially when the value added products will be made, raise farm incomes through sustainable dairy practice, and women economic and empowerment is also expected. Coming to the final news, ICR develops first complete pigeon reference genome. So basically, first the publication which they have done was in 2011, where they said that we have a way in which we can go through all the 11 chromosomes that exist in arhar dal, especially which variety of asha variety. So imagine from 2011 this was running, and then in 2017 they published another paper citing the development, and finally now in 2026 they have come up with this proper the achievement that they have made. The breakthrough is expected to speed up the development of climate resilient, high yielding, and naturally improved pigeon pea varieties. Pigeon pea varieties basically arhar dal ya tur ki dal, you must have heard of, right? So because we have fully annotated, fully annotated means we know the proper sequence of the genes. When we know the sequence, we can manipulate as per our use. We can come up with varieties which are more nutritious, which are high yielding, which are climate resilient, because now we just have to alter that particular gene, right? So with that, we can have better varieties, also known as arar or tor. Okay, so ICR, this new genome sequence was developed by ICR, okay, and represent the most complete genetic footprint, blueprint of pigeon available so far, okay. So and this also shows, our scientific abilities, and somewhere like in a progressive manner we are moving towards it, okay. Significance kya hai? The reference genome will support gene discovery, theek hai, analysis, molecular breeding, genome editing, and because of that we can come up with like better varieties that will help in farm income, productivity, nutritional security in sab cheezon mein, theek hai. And government launched the mission of Atma Nirbharta in pulses from 2025-26 to 3031 to improve pulse self-sufficiency, reduce import dependence, raise farmers' income through better expansion and seed. The mission aims to provide the pulse production to about 35 million tons by 2030-31. Okay? So these are some of the news. Now let's look at question. It says the model bylaws have enabled PACS to undertake more than how many business activities? Okay? Around up to 25 hai. Okay? As per the news, recently we have studied Gaume Sehkari Samiti Multi-State Limited primarily focuses on which of the following. So we know that two committees has been set up. Okay? One is for the scientific manure management, biogas and organic fertilizer. That is one. And second was for the better feed and fodder. The next news, third news is ICR developed India's first fully annotated telemore reference genome to which pigeon pea variety. So that is your Asha. Okay? Coming to the next question, which institution has been established for cooperative education, training, research, and capacity building? So we know Tribhuvan Sahakari University has been established. Then coming to the next question, Cooperative Inputs and Service Delivery Multi-State Limited is intended to provide affordable access to what? Affordable access to feed, fodder, animal health, breeding, and technical services. This is a homework question. As per the news, the newly developed T2T reference genome of Pigeon Pea will help mainly in for what purpose, right? So comment down the answers. That is all in this video. For more such videos, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also join a Telegram chat to get the PDF of this and every lecture that we provide here on YouTube. Thank you everybody for watching the session. I wish you all the very best for your exam.